What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about repurposed enclosures. This is my favorite, and it's the fourth of the types of enclosures that I have been talking about. What makes it my favorite? Well, just look how pretty they can be. I didn't do any of this woodworking. It came like that. So just with little tweaks, you can have a nice showpiece piece of enclosure inside of your living room, family room, wherever. So we're going to explore this more today on Next Level Enrichment. So stay tuned. Okay, let's jump into this. So let's talk about the average cost of these things. Most of the time, depending on what you can get them really cheap to free. So like China hutches, there's something people don't use a lot. So I got this whole China hutch for $25. I've seen them for free on Craigslist and OfferUp. You might even have a family member who just wants to get rid of a China hutch or a display cabinet or a curio cabinet or an old dresser. It doesn't matter, right? Just a piece of furniture that you can convert. So relatively cost is cheap to moderate. Like if there's actually something you want to spend up on because it's got a lot of wood detail and maybe that particular piece fits in with your decor, so you're gonna have to buy up a little bit on it, that's fine. But nonetheless, it's still, for what you're overall gonna get, gonna be cheap to at best moderate, right? What's the best use for these this specific type of enclosure, which is repurposed? Well, that is everything. It's super versatile. That's what I love it for. Most of the time with dry species, it is best because obviously you can convert anything. But even with a little ingenuity, you can turn any enclosure into something that, if it needs to retain moisture or have a basin in it of water for some particular type of species of animal, okay? So, but for the most part, it's versatile. You can find some kind of furniture for any type of animal. That's what I love about it. There's tons of furniture online, guys and gals. I challenge you right now, go look at Facebook, whatever you like, Craigslist, OfferUp, it doesn't matter. Just type in furniture, boom, look at all of it and let your mind just start racing, right? I think I'll do one more time where I go on Craigslist, and this time I think I'm gonna try to get a live program. I've been doing still shots, but maybe I'll try to just find a live program so I can go ahead and show you how much furniture there are and all the different possibilities there are. I'll walk through some things. We'll just do it live in the moment. We'll just see what happens. I don't even know, okay? However, before we do that, I kind of want to give you an example. So behind me is my Zero Beta Dragon Kaiju's enclosure. I did kind of, on the very first video, explore this a little bit, but I want to give a closer look into it. So on the outside, what I like about the China hutch is it gives you a lot of visual display space, okay? So this is 4 feet by, I want to say 3 feet. Again, if I have my tape measure, I want to say 4 feet by, no, you know what, it's 4 feet by 4 feet by 1.5 feet back, okay? Seeing how they're like an animal that likes to go up is arboreal, right? Arboreal. So you can see he's up here right now. It's perfect for them because they like more up and down space versus wide space. And you can see I was able to decor it out. So I'll get into that in a second, but first I'd like to talk about the outside. Clearly this is some woodworking that some people can do, but not me. I'm not one of those people, right? So it looks pretty nice. And this is right in the middle of my living room. This is where my old fireplace used to be. So I just literally covered it up. And now it's a centerpiece in my living room. And it's a home for Kaiju. And so yeah, literally didn't have to do anything to the outside at all. Like it even came with a lock on the thing. Literally all I did on this thing here was up top, cut a big rectangle out and put a mesh wire screen on top, and that was lights sit on top. That was all the conversion I needed to do for the outside. Another cool thing is with China hutches, if you wanted to, you could drill down and utilize this space down here if you wanted to. I chose not to because I'm using it for storing all my animal stuff. And here is some more repurposed enclosures. So again, it's probably the most type of enclosures that I have inside the entire house. So this here is Rocco, my Uramastic. Currently, Rocco is under this rock. Got a nice little colony built out under there, dug nice and perfectly. I'm going to go over it real quick though. This was a liquor lockbox at the place I work, and we got rid of it a long time ago. It was just sitting out back. So they gave it to me. Very solid box. All I did on this one is, again, sawed out a rectangle on top, put wire mesh in. Now you can see his lights up here, and then I have a full spectrum 36 inch UVB bulb up top. And so this plastic was kind of had a big gap here because the lock was slid in there. So unfortunately, this is what I could come up with. I don't like that it's there, but this is weather stripping, but really thick and dense weather stripping. And so I took these panels out and I put them in on each side, and he'd have to really work his way through there. Odds are it wouldn't happen. Plus it's too thick to really get there through there now, but when I first put them in there, it was a little smaller. And so as far as the lock goes, I have a wood dowel right here. So the wood dowel stops it from sliding this way. Then I have another wood dowel right here. And that wood dowel stops it from sliding that way. But again, a nice full pane view. This is 4 feet by 2 feet by 2.5 feet, I believe. And so this is a grow out enclosure. Eventually, Rocco's going to get a custom build at some point because I'm going to do a nice large enclosure. It's only about like maybe this big, and I could lift the rocks up and show you, but I really don't like to disturb their habitat, the one that's like where they feel safe hiding. So I only try to grab them when he comes out and stuff like that. I don't mess with their homes unless I really have to, and in this moment I don't have to. So, but he's right under there. Anyhow, these are just cement bricks from my local hardware store. And then I had some other fixtures from like old fish tanks, but they're made out of stone, and so Euramax sticks really like to dig and wedge in between rocks. So I threw those in there and a few half logs, and I got tiers here because this heat's right here, and they like it really hot. So if he really wants to, he can get up here, and it's really hot up here, or he can bask down here, or here, or here. And then so it's a good microclimate. Plus it's where he digs under there, so the heat actually warms the rock, and he really loves it under here. Got food, seeds, and a little water bowl. Technically, I guess they can get away without having water because they have like salt glands that produce, but I give all my animals water nonetheless, just in case they want to drink. I've never seen my Euramatic drink the water, but I do give it to her. Anyhow, real simple. All I had to do on this one was put in the weather stripping, the wood dowels, and then cut out the top and then put down the wire rack, and then otherwise it was an enclosure already. And I think with the wood grain look behind it, kind of gives it like a deserty look too. So I think it came out really nice. And this is just a grow out enclosure that I'll probably maybe use on other animals down the road. Like I said, this won't be his permanent home. This closet still has a lot of room up here, and so that's probably where it's going to go. Is I'm going to build up and then do like rock fixtures and stuff that I can climb throughout and stuff. But I'm really going to utilize all this space up here, so that's future videos. I guess you couldn't see all that space up there, but this is inside of the closet inside my game room, and so up here will be more space for future enclosure. Okay. Let me lock this back up real quick so this dowel goes inside. Just drops into the track. Slide that shut. You can see the door is nice and sturdy now. And the wood dowel's up here. And now you can see nice and sturdy. So took me maybe a half hour to convert this over. So a little imagination. Oh, I guess right here too is a 2-inch bricks that I laid across here because you needed substrate, and as you can see this is all open, so if I had opened the sliding glass it'd all fall out. So I did put a row of really nice 2-inch cement bricks right here, and they're 2 inches by 2 inches, so his substrate is 2 inches deep, and I gave him just enough to where he could dig a hole right under there. Pretty cool. Okay, I'll give you an up close view real quick. Ready? 1, 2. All right, we got a little bit closer view and go. So that's the hole that I was speaking of. Rocco's currently under there. Be cool if he came out right now. Come on, Rocco. Not going to. So these are the 2-inch bricks. You see I had to line them across the front so that the substrate could be 2 inches deep. Like I said, these are like old aquarium pieces, but they're stone, so I threw them in there. And it's hard to tell, but it's actually hollow under that because he's dug out the whole trench in there, and he goes into that hole and sometimes hangs out in there on the cool side. Little dishes, they love to eat seeds, so I got seeds, some greens, and a little water dish right there, and a couple of caves. They don't really use he doesn't really use the caves too much, but like I said, there's shelves right here, 1, 2, 3, different gradients, so the heat gets cooler as it gets lower to the ground. And there you go. All right, and this is yet another enclosure that I have that has been repurposed. So this one was the very first one that I've ever did. This was, gosh, almost 6 years ago. I later threw it together for my Cow King because it had grown out of its 20-inch long. aquarium that I had growing it out, retail aquarium. Remember, like I said, I like to grow them out. Well, this is the permanent home here. It's a actually gray banded cow king named Gandalf. Currently probably in here. Again, I don't mess with the cave. I don't mess with their enclosures. At some point when they're out, I'll show you it, but I'm not going to go in there and mess with the enclosure. Anyhow, this was an old wood entertainment center. Came with a glass door already and a handle. So literally, just had to put a new little knob on there, and I had to put one down here. So they're hooks. I can show you. So it's got a little hex screw here and a hex screw here. And I'll show you what it looks like. So I put little circle screws in there, and then you can see it's the little like cane looking ones. So simply to lock it, I bring it in, turn it, pull it back, and then use the hex nut to lock it. Makes it so the glass won't flex, because one lock in the middle was not enough. Down here there was still too much give, and if they pushed their head through, they could get out. So I had to put another one down at the bottom. Heat lamp goes inside the enclosure. This is actually one of the wood shelves. I just simply cut a hole in it. And this is ghetto because this is my old fish tank aquarium hood that I cut in half. And so I wonder if you could see that. So literally it's one of those black hoods. I chopped it in half, scooted it together, bolted it down, and that's how I did my very first mesh enclosure for a lamp, right? Like I said, it was my very first one 6 years ago, and it was my very beginner one. By now I've learned all different kinds of easy techniques that I'll share with you. I made that look a lot cleaner, but it's functional. They can't get up there. So anyhow, here simply 2x4s, and I had a circular saw drill bit. Just chunked some holes in there and created a little enclosure that it could climb up. This is the wood shelf it came with, and I just cut a hole in that. And then there was a piece of wood right here. I had to cut a big hole in that. And down here there's a little bit of a hole, and this is where you can go. Actually, it might be down here. Let me check. Are you in there? No, you're not. Okay, good. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, so this is kind of like the quiet space down here where it's dark, and I don't usually open it up too much unless I have to clean it, because he does poo down here a lot. But these, I just got those little slide locks, you know, they go up, over, and down that you have like on your front door. I drilled holes down into the wood, and it just slides in, turns. Simple dimple. Simple dimple. Okay, so this here, I had to go get 1x1s and create a frame. Then I had to go buy this acrylic and do drill taps into here. Then screw this in, and I have a lock. And I had to create this door. So this was the hardest part of it all. Creating that door to have this access. Yeah. Sometimes he goes under his water bowl. I have it. So if you notice, what I like to do also is with their water bowls, because it's a lot of surface on the bottom too, is I'll do like a 3-4 inch thick bedding on there, and then I'll hollow out under it, and so the weight of it sits on like the rim, and it's nice and cool because the water's in there, and they love it, both snakes. I do it with my Ekans ball python and this one, and they both love to go under their water dish when they're trying to cool off, and gives them an extra little hide. I created this out of the cutout from that. So this is just the wood shelf that I bolted in here and put one piece in. I put a cave up there because it's nice and warm, because it resonates off the heat here, and then created another little climbing fixture, and occasionally they'll go up there and get warm. Let's see, this video is getting long, so I'm not trying to go too in detail on this. Maybe I'll highlight these enclosures in another video, like solo, and really go through how I built them. But you can see, boom, 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 nice and tight. Anyhow, the bottom one's a pain. There we go. Next bolt, make sure you put tension on it. Good. And there may have been better ways to lock these in the future. I think this is just, again, first attempt at it. I wanted something that I could put a lot of pressure on, because the snakes will press up against the wood, but you can see, getting that thing loose. So pretty cool, I think. This is my Cow King's enclosure, so it has full run all the way through it, up and down, left and right. and it does utilize it. It'll sit in here. This is where the VCR would have went. So nice and like, you know, tight quarters right there. Drill a hole right there and right there, so it can go from there to there to there, and it can come out there and come up there. Unprofessional. Getting a phone call during a video. Okay, so that's my 3 repurposed enclosures. All right, well, that's the show for today. Hopefully that I've inspired you about the possibilities with repurposed. So out there is one that's a little bit prettier, a more showpiece one. These ones here are more functional, and the truth is this one down here, nowadays if I took time to do it, I could have made this more showpiece. But it's also really outdated one. That's why I kind of keep it in my office. This is the closet. I took off the doors and now I have both the enclosures inside my closet. You can probably see some stuff over here. This is literally, as I go around to like garage sales, yard sales, or people I know getting rid of stuff, or if I see hot deals on like Craigslist or something like that. It's just like a case of bio bags. There's 2 more bio bags in there, a couple filters, all kinds of stuff up here. I got biofoam from a Fluval, so there's light bulbs. I need to get it out of the side of my closet, but anyhow, that's just all excess animal stuff. That's, you know, because stuff is expensive, and as you want to do more experimental enclosures, you know, you're gonna have all this stuff nice and cheap. So think ahead. Anyhow, point being is these ones here are more functional versus pretty. That one out there is more pretty and functional, so it just depends on what you're looking for. And anyhow, that does conclude the retail, repurposed, refurbished, and Rustum enclosure series. Going forward, I will be getting some chickens soon. So, and then I'm going to build a awesome chicken coop / tortoise outside permanent enclosure, so I can have both of them hybrid, but they're not going to live together. The entrance to the chickens will be one way, and the entrance to the tortoise will be one way, so they're just going to share electrical. So stay tuned for that. Going to be doing all kinds of repurposed builds, refurbished builds, stuff that I can find online, show you how easy that is. I'm going to do a lot of how-to videos, so the fun's just getting going. All right, thanks for sticking with me through this series so far, and I guess the only thing left to say is I'll see you later. Peace.
Hello YouTube. I have a very important ask of you. Do you see this starving animal? We need your help feeding him. For every subscribe, we will donate some kibble so this poor animal can eat. Please help us do your part and subscribe. Thank you.